Austria, the country that always seems to find itself starting world wars. From the assassination in Sarajevo to countless historical rivalries, it's safe to say Austria doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to keeping the peace. But guess what? This time, in the 1850s, they actually got it right. They didn't start a war, they prevented one. Shocking, I know. Let's talk about how Austria, with a little help from Prussia, stopped what could have been the First World War. At the heart of the conflict was the decaying Ottoman Empire, often called the sick man of Europe. Russia saw an opportunity to expand southward, seizing strategic territory along the Black Sea and potentially controlling the warm water ports. Britain and France, fearing Russia's growing power, came to the Ottomans' aid. The stakes? Control of the Mediterranean, dominance in Europe, and the fragile balance of power on the continent. This wasn't just a fight over territory, it was a battle for influence. If unchecked, Russia could have upset the balance of power, and soon, other European powers like Austria, Prussia, and even the German Confederation might have been dragged into the fray. Austria found itself in a precarious position. While it didn't directly join the war, it played a key role behind the scenes. Austria had strong ties to the Ottoman Empire and shared a long border with Russia. Supporting one side could provoke the other, threatening its own survival. Austria's strategy? Diplomatic pressure. By aligning itself unofficially with Britain and France, Austria forced Russia to split its focus. Austrian troops mobilized along the Russian border, deterring any major advances into Europe. This made it nearly impossible for Russia to expand the war westward. Meanwhile, Prussia, an emerging power under King Frederick William IV, chose a path of cautious neutrality. It didn't join the fighting, but used diplomacy to keep the German Confederation from fracturing. Together, Austria and Prussia became the stabilizing forces that prevented a larger conflict from erupting in Central Europe. The combined diplomatic and military posturing of Austria and Prussia effectively cornered Russia. Facing pressure on all fronts, Russia agreed to peace talks before the war spiraled further out of control. The Crimean War ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1856. While the war itself didn't resolve all the tensions in Europe, Austria and Prussia's careful balancing act ensured it didn't escalate into a global conflict. The balance of power was preserved, for now. A world war was averted in the 1850s thanks to Austria's strategic diplomacy and Prussia's calculated restraint. It's a reminder that sometimes preventing war requires just as much courage as fighting one.